Welcome to our holiday spectacular.
We are so thrilled to share the magic of this season live right here in our Winter Wonderland studio with our reporters scattered from Port Jefferson to New York City. Melanie, I had no idea until I did my research that there were so many holidays around the world in the month of December.
There really are a lot of holidays, Justin. They're all centered around the Winter Solstice, which is the shortest day of the year. It feels like autumn just flew by, and now the winter's upon us. What are you looking forward to this holiday season?
Well, I do love a creamy, warm cup of hot chocolate on a cold night, but for me, it's all about the skiing and ice skating.
My favorite part of winter is getting around the wood-burning stove or the fireplace with friends and family, playing music, everybody decked out in wool socks and turtlenecks.
I love some nice warm wool socks. So fuzzy. But let's talk about the winter solstice. It's more than just a seasonal shift. Cultures around the world have special ways of celebrating. First, the Chinese celebration of Dongqi. After the solstice, days slowly but surely start getting longer. And Dongqi sees winter solstice as a marker of positivity to come in the new year. It may have started as a harvest holiday and is believed to be the day that everyone gets 1 year older. Nowadays, it's a time for families to gather and cook warm foods like dumplings. The more family celebrations, the better. Right, Melanie?
For sure, Justin. Iranians celebrate Yalda. People gather together on the longest night of the year to protect each other from evil, burning fires to light their way through the darkness, and performing charitable acts. Friends and family join in making wishes, feasting on nuts, pomegranates, and other festive foods, and reading poetry. Some pull all-nighters to rejoice when the sun rises, marking the arrival of the good.
Holidays like Christmas have roots in the ancient pagan holiday of Yule. Started with pre-Christianized Germanic peoples, the 12-day festival celebrated the rebirth of the sun with holly plant decorations and the burning of the Yule log to cleanse any negative energy from the past year. Modern pagan practitioners like Wiccans and Druids gather at England's Stonehenge to watch the midwinter sun as it sets perfectly aligned in between the prehistoric stones. Speaking of ancient holidays, Hanukkah is one that is also still celebrated today. Lily McInerney joins us live at the Stony Brook Student Union. Lily?
Thank you so much, Justin. I'm here with our lovely guest, Jen Handel, who is the Assistant Director of Stony Brook Hillel. So Jen, would you mind telling us about the significance of the 8 nights of Hanukkah and the menorah that is so beautifully lit here?
Sure. So we light the menorah every year at Hanukkah to commemorate the rededication of the synagogue in Jerusalem. It was destroyed and the Maccabees were able to retake it. And when they went to light the menorah, they found only enough oil to last 1 night. And they were able to make that oil last for 8 days. And so to commemorate that and the miracle until new oil was brought in, we light the menorah every year for 8 days.
That's amazing. And it's so nice to hear about the true meaning behind the holiday. And would you also mind telling us about why the holiday is so special to you?
Oh, goodness. So I love Hanukkah. Every night of Hanukkah, you add another candle to the menorah. And so you're literally bringing more light into the world. And so I appreciate the fact that you put the menorah in a window, people are invited to celebrate with you, and you're adding more and more light into a world that right now can be a little bit dark.
That's beautiful. And do you have a favorite Hanukkah memory that you'd like to share with us?
When I was a kid, my family would light the menorah and we would bake cookies. I didn't know that there were prayers that went along with it when I was a kid. And so for me, Hanukkah was about candles and cookies. As an adult, I love the idea of bringing joy into the world. And so I do that with my Hanukkah wardrobe that gets me through all 8 nights.
I love the wardrobe. And do you personally have a favorite Hanukkah dish that you'd like to share with us?
Latkes. Everybody should like latkes. A good crispy fried potato pancake with applesauce on top. You're good to go.
What's not to like? I mean, for me personally, I know I always enjoy the Hanukkah gelt. So thank you so much for being here with us. And back to you at the studio, Melanie.
Thanks, Lily. A much newer holiday in the month of December is Kwanzaa. And a recent tradition in New York is the Christmas tree lighting. So let's travel to NYC and see it with Jocelyn.
We're kicking off the holiday season here at the iconic Christmas tree in the heart of New York City at Rockefeller Center. Last year, the celebration was canceled due to the COVID-19 pandemic, But spectators return to celebrate the 89th annual Christmas tree lighting that will be covered with 50,000 multicolored lights and topped off with a Swarovski star.
New Yorkers know there's no holiday season until the lighting of the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. With a limited number of viewing areas, crowds gather to kick off the Christmas season by interacting with NBC's Hoda Kotb and Al Roker. This year's 80-year-old Norway spruce came to the Big Apple from Elkton, Maryland, weighing 12 tons, which after the holiday season will be turned into lumber to help a family build a Habitat for Humanity home. The countdown began as the crowd gazed at the tree strung with 50,000 multicolored lights and 900-pound crystal star that illuminated the tree. Daily viewing hours for the tree are from 6 a.m. until midnight and will stay lit around the clock on Christmas Day.
From Rockefeller Center, I'm Jocelyn Cruz, signing off.
The acclaimed Phil Altier, our technical director and supreme man behind the scenes, compiled his top 5 Hallmark movies. Let's hear them. Justin?
Thanks, Melanie. Number 5 is Merry and Bright, which answers the age-old question, can a candy cane company make money all year round? Jodie Sweetin from Full and Fuller House plays Kate, the CEO of the candy company, who tries to answer that question. Andrew Walker plays Gabe, who was hired to take a closer financial analysis of the company for a more profitable future. Will Kate and Gabe find a solution, or will Kate lose what makes her grandmother's company so unique for generations? Number 4 is Christmas Town. Continuing the Full House cinematic universe is Candace Cameron Bure, who plays Lauren Gabriel, a fast-paced Bostonite who ends up detoured in a small town nicknamed Christmas Town. Tim Rozon plays a local who, at first, does not care for the city-paced Lauren, but the small-town charm of bakeries, family, and ice skating may just remind her of the magic of Christmas. Number 3 is Deliver by Christmas. The gingerbread is going to fly in this holiday romance. Bakery owner Molly, played by Alvina August, meets Josh, played by Eon Bailey, a widower who just moved to town with his young son. Complicating things is a mysterious client to Molly's bakery that she may have feelings for, but can the mysterious man and Josh be the same person? Number 2 is Next Stop Christmas, reuniting Leah Thompson and Christopher Lloyd for the first time since the Back to the Future trilogy in another time-traveling adventure. Angie, played by Lindsay Fonseca, is unknowingly sent 10 years back in time to a family Christmas. There, Angie must correct the wrongs that have future implications with her parents, sister, and herself in order to go back to her original timeline. Last but not least, number 1 is The Christmas House. According to Phil, this is probably the most rewatchable holiday movie on Hallmark, with a sequel coming up later this year. In this small upstate town, there is a particular house that is known to go all out for Christmas. Phyllis Mitchell, played by Sharon Lawrence, and husband Bill, played by Treat Williams, have owned this house for many years, but are considering selling it. In an effort to have one last hurrah, the parents have summoned their 2 grown sons, TV star Mike, played by Robert Buckley, and Brandon, played by Jonathan Bennett. Complicating things are the uncertain futures of Mike's popular TV show and Brandon's pending child adoption with husband Jake, played by Brad Harder. Meanwhile, Mike reconnects with his high school sweetheart Andy, played by Anya Ayora. Can the magic of the season bring this family closer together and keep this house? Or is it really the last Christmas house ever? I don't know about you, Melanie, but I love a good family dynamic story.
There really is nothing like a solid rom-com. Let's keep the holiday cheer going. Our Maya Brown has transported back in time to the Victorian age and is live at the 25th annual Charles Dickens Festival. How do you do, Maya?
Thanks, Melanie. I'm doing good. I'm here at the 25th annual Charles Dickens Festival in the great village of Port Jefferson. And with me today is Alan Varela. He is the chair of the Greater Port Jefferson Northern Brookhaven Arts Council. You can come on in. He's also known as Charles Dickens. How are you doing today?
Quite good. I've been working on your strange American accent, so I think I've got it down. You have to tell me how I'm doing.
I think you're doing great. So, do you want to tell me a little bit about where this festival originated from?
It started back in 1995. Then trustee, then former mayor Jean Garant started it as a way to draw people into the village during the winter for the business.
Okay, got it. And how long have you been doing this for?
The Arts Council took over the production for the village in 2005.
Okay, and kind of tell me, how much work goes into this, the planning of it all.
Well, we put in several months because we have to assemble some 130 street characters. We have 132 events this year. So there's a lot of booking, a lot of scheduling, a lot of, all of that sort of stuff.
Right, and what can people expect when they come? I know you said 132 events. What are some of your favorite events?
Well, we have Santa's Workshop, which is a must-see. We have Tiny Tim's Train Station, which is all big, giant model trains. We have Artisan Square, which shows how people did crafts back in the 1850s. And we have the Festival of Trees. We have concerts throughout the village. We have street characters walking around, carolers, and we have street plays.
Okay, got it. And let's see. What are you what are you most excited for this weekend?
What I'm most excited for is the 25,000 people on average that show up, all the faces of the little kids and all the joy this brings. That's what I'm excited.
Got it. And one last question. Why is Charles Dickens, at the center of this festival?
Well, Theater 3 does A Christmas Carol. And of course, Dickens was the #1 author back in the 1800s. And he has so many characters that carry through movies and all the other stuff. So we figured that let's just make a festival around his works.
Right, and this is obviously focused on the Victorian era, which was under, Queen Victoria's ruling, 1837 till about 1901. And I just love that Charles Dickens is at the center. So thank you so much for, sharing the joy. Yep, of course. All right, Melanie, back to you at the studio.
Thanks, Maya.
It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun over in Port Jefferson.
As it was then and still is now, the gift of giving is really what makes you warm inside. Justin has a story about a very special project all about giving.
December in New York City is known for extravagant decor and window shopping, but that's not the reality for 13% of our nation's homeless population who call the 5 boroughs home. 4 Brooklynites are taking it upon themselves to make sure that children living in the city's homeless shelters experience the true magic of the holiday season. Founded in 2019, the Archers Project is a nonprofit organization on the second year of its annual toy drive, Operation Little Dreamers.
I think that it's important for every child to be able to have the opportunity to celebrate the holidays just like everyone else. We don't want any child to feel like they don't deserve to celebrate like other children do.
They're partnered with Canva, a long-established nonprofit providing resources and housing to aid struggling New Yorkers. Operation Little Dreamers will collect personalized presents for around 600 children living in shelters this holiday season. All 4 team members are from immigrant families from the former Soviet Union who settled in southern Brooklyn. Whether through word of mouth or social media, relying on community became crucial for getting donors involved in Operation Little Dreamers during the ongoing pandemic.
It ties into being an immigrant and like a child of immigrant parents who came here with nothing. You kind of get the feel of what these kids go through living in a country where you're not supposed to be lacking, basic things such as a roof over your head.
We still live in an area where it's predominantly Russian, and we all technically know each other. So getting the word out there is a lot easier for us.
We try to tell the donors to get at least one thing that the child writes so that they can have what they want, but they can always add additional gifts. I know many donors will also add clothes since they have their clothing size.
Irina Baron has been a donor for the past 5 years. This year, she requested 50 of the children's letters from the nonprofit, which she and her co-workers work to fulfill.
It's very important, like if your happiness and you are happy when you are a child, it stays with you forever. That happiness, I still remember those feelings. I think it's very important for those kids to get those feelings.
With thousands of unsheltered New Yorkers, it's impossible to know how many homeless individuals there truly are. Community efforts led by New Yorkers for New Yorkers are needed now more than ever, bringing hope in a time of uncertainty.
There's no describing how it feels to give back to your own community and be able to do these kind of things for your community.
We're greeted with smiling faces, impatient little children waiting to unwrap their gifts, standing in line, and it's just pretty amazing seeing these kids and the way they're so grateful for the little things that they receive that you just want to keep giving more and more. And that's why we're so drawn to doing this every single year and making it bigger and better and just helping more children.
Thank you for donating to the Artemis Project.
Reporting from a local Santa's workshop right here in Flatbush, Brooklyn. I'm Justin Mitzelmaker.
What a heartwarming story, Justin. I don't know about you, but I'm certainly in the holiday spirit.
Me too, Melanie. Let's hope that the joy of giving continues throughout this upcoming year.
Don't forget to be nice year-round. On that note, we'll see you next year. Here's to a lovely holiday season, a safe and fun new year. Stony Brook Media Group signing off.
S Novym Godem to all my Russians.
And Buon Natale for my fellow Italians.